If you are looking for a new home but don't know who can help you find that place of your dreams, look no further.
Joining us now for this sponsored interview is Liz Sears, a real estate expert. Welcome to the show, Liz.
Thank you. So excited to be here.
Tell us about your background in real estate and the team that you run.
All right, so I have a team of 8, and it's super fun. My husband's actually my business partner with that. And we're at Utah's Elite Realtors. We just moved over to Real Brokerage. It's the fastest growing tech brokerage in the nation, which is super exciting.
Liz, tell us about your background, how you got started, and why it's so important to you.
Honestly, it started back when I was 13 years old. That was my first experience with real estate. And so I'm from a huge family. And we had just outgrown our home. And by huge, I mean we had like 9 kids with a 1-bathroom house. I still don't even know how we handled it. But my mom would talk to people and she'd say, this just doesn't work for me. And she talked to a lot of people and finally found a realtor who stepped in and said, I'm going to help you. Tell me what you want, what you need. I'm going to make it happen. And she did. And for years, my mom would bring up about how grateful she was that somebody with the expertise helped navigate something as complex as both buying and selling at the same time, uprooting a family and moving them. And it really inspired me. The strategy behind it, I'm like, I think I might want to do that.
It's so interesting, isn't it, to think about different families' needs. And it can also be really daunting when you're looking for a new space.
Right.
I'm sure you've seen a lot thinking about the last couple of years in our current market.
Yeah, I mean, the first big shift I saw was the 2001 dot-com crash, which really affected mortgages, and then the 2008 Great Recession and the recovery, and then that boom that we had, 21 and 2, where the housing market just went crazy.
You've been in real estate now for 30 years.
Yeah.
And you've seen things ebb and flow, and you say that now the market has evened out a little bit, right? In 2022, it was a little rough.
Yeah, rates tripled from like May to July. And with that shift, a lot of people think, is it now a good time? And so that's the most common question I get asked, is now a good time to buy? And what I always say is that's such a big personal decision, and it really depends on why you're looking to move. So I like to have a discovery conversation and find out, what's your full situation? What do you want to do? Sometimes the end result after this conversation is that it's not a good time to move yet and you should wait. And for other people, when it is, that's my fun part, because we get to game plan and strategize and put together how to help them reach their goals.
So if you are looking and this is the year and you just need a little help and some knowledge, what should they start preparing to do right now?
I would say have that discovery conversation. Find out, does everything line up to make the most sense? And if it does, then interview your agent. And I always say interviewing an agent has 2 halves. So the first half is make sure they're an expert in the market to guide you correctly, expert in the contracts to help protect you by knowing your legal rights and responsibilities, expert in sales and marketing, because gosh, if you're going to hire someone to sell the biggest asset you own, they should be really, really good at sales. And then negotiation, because often you have to renegotiate during the process. So that's one half. And then the other half is interview if they're a good project manager. I think that's one of the biggest values that a great realtor brings to the table. And so what I do is I view it as, there's 10 parties involved in every transaction. So my job is to make sure that they all know their jobs, do it right, do it on time, watch for red flags, mitigate what comes up, and to the best for my client.
I'm always amazed with realtors who there's always chaos behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But the person buying has no idea.
Right.
What sets you apart from all the other real estate agents?
My ability to navigate the unexpected in a way that my client doesn't feel the stress.
So that same thing of you're cool as a cucumber, but chaos is happening in the back.
Can I tell one story? I don't know if we have time. Okay, so there's this one time when we did our inspection on the home and I was representing the buyer, and there was a lot more than we had thought was wrong with the home. And so we went to the listing agent and said, we'd like the seller to fix these things or to take care of these things. Let's negotiate. And he's like, tearing off the roof? No, that's dumb. I'm just going to put on another layer of shingles. And it got up and started doing it. And my client's like, no, that's we haven't agreed to anything yet. And so I called the agent and said, help me with this because we need to resolve it. And he said, well, it's his house and he can do what he wants. So I hung up the phone and thought, how do I diplomatically handle this? And I ended up sending a text that read, I'm not sure your seller realizes the legal predicament he put himself in based on section 12.1 of the contract. And he went and read it and said, oh, no. great. Yeah, it has to be in writing. And so we were able to actually negotiate an extra $5,000, and the approach of it kept it diplomatic, kept it smooth. My client didn't even know all that happened. She just knew she got an extra $5,000.
Wow,
so,
this is why we need an expert like you. You knew your stuff just right there. Pulled that out. Where do
a little
we
bit
go?
of contract nerd. Yeah.
Where do we go to learn more and work
That's
with you?
Yeah, thank you. So the best way to get a hold of me, I love to say, if you're thinking about listing, think List with Liz. And so my website is listwithliz.biz, and that also will direct you to utahseliterealtors.com.
All right, Liz, thank you so much.